right, we are live. I am Dr. Cassandra Bradford, and you are watching Business First with me, Dr. Cassandra Bradford, and I am here with Teresa Campos. I know
Yay.
you guys have been seeing the ads and the marketing, the flyers on Facebook, and you guys know that I have fun in business, and I have a great tribe of friends and colleagues who are much smarter than I am. So this is why I surround myself with people that are smarter than me to give you the illusion that I'm smart too. So I met Teresa a few years ago. She was one of our speakers at the Run Women's Conference here in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. And as you guys know, we are getting ready for 2021. We have worked out all of our bugs. I think our this pandemic gave us a break to take a to step back and look at what we were doing from a conference host perspective and even from a business owner perspective. And I'm telling you, the floodgates open for us this year. We have partnered with the Texas Rangers, which is our ball club here in Texas, and we will be at the Globe Life Field this year. We're on the field. We've had our attorneys look over contracts this year, so I don't even make a mistake. And so we're on home plate with Jumbotron, so I gotta get a facial. Anyway, I digress. So I want Teresa to introduce herself and tell us what she does. You guys are in for a great treat today. I'm telling you, you guys are in for a treat. Hey, Teresa.
Hey, Dr. Cassandra, it's so good to be here with you, seeing you again. Yeah. Yay. So yeah, I am Teresa Campos. I live in Folsom, California. So I am on the West Coast, and I am a spiritual teacher. One of the things that I feel that is part of, I'm going to say, my superpower in my work and my business is really helping people connect with their passion, helping them connect and find that purpose and align with it. And that right now, I believe especially is important with all that we have going on. You know, we've got to be living in our values. So yeah, that's what I love, helping people reach those goals and visions for themselves.
Man, you guys, Teresa, you must be eavesdropping here in my office. I was just talking to someone yesterday, even this morning, about walking in our purpose. And are we actually walking in our purpose, or are we just talking about walking in our purpose? There's a difference. And if you
Absolutely.
guys know me, I'm a big proponent on execution. I hate to hear, oh, I'm finna do this or I'm about to do that. Why aren't we living in the right now? Right? And actually doing something about it in the right now, which means we're moving, we're in action. We're like action figures, right?
Absolutely.
And
And
so,
you know,
mhm.
go ahead.
And a lot of us, and it's unfortunate, but a lot of us don't even know what our purpose is. We don't even know what it is. So can you help us to understand how do we find this out?
Right. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm going to back up just a little bit and just talk about what's going on right now in terms of how this is all on a deeper level helping us to align with that. So we've been in a time of isolation for quite some time, and we've had our resources limited and changed, and being put in positions where we've had to find other ways to make ourselves feel happy. And you know, that's been a struggle for many. And but the other thing it's done is it's really helped many people to see what's important in their life and what they value, and are they living in alignment with those values, right? And
Mhm.
so I think that's the first thing that many people might be able to relate to, is this time of isolation is having us look a little bit more inward. And
Mhm.
so in that time, in this time that's going on, um, yeah, so maybe what I've been doing for the last 10 years, last year, last whatever years, is not feeling good in my body anymore. So how can I feel good in my body? How can I feel good in my heart, right? And so that's the first thing I always tell people to do, is we're always looking for what we need to do, but why don't we look for what we don't need to do? Let's look at what we need to peel away, because when we can peel away, then what needs to come can emerge. And that's where, you know, I think that society and culture has us so goal oriented that we're like, what do I need to do? What do I do? Like, really? What do you need to not do? What do you need to change? What do you need to adjust? What do you need to let go?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I begin with my conversations with clients of you need to let go of who are you being that you're really not, because we got to cut through all of that, because that's that layer upon layer
Mm-hmm.
as we move through our lives.
And a lot of times, when we are maneuvering through, and that's, and we get lost, or we get to a point where, we keep saying, we don't know, I don't know what's next, I don't know what to do. And we've all been there. One of the definitions of an entrepreneur is a person that takes a risk. And we take calculated risks, but we got to take them nonetheless because we're walking in a purpose. And sometimes when God is moving us forward, right? He doesn't reveal the whole purpose to us. Oh, I'm so sorry, my phone. He doesn't reveal the whole purpose to us, right? Because I would quit. Trust me, I quit. I would quit because sometimes the vision is so huge, but we have to make sure that our mind is in alignment, right? Our body, what comes out of our mouth, because a lot of times we speak death and we don't even know it. Oh, I can't do that. Oh,
Absolutely.
I'm not going to do that, right? And then we've already spoken death. And so I believe that we are the answers to somebody's problem, Teresa. I do
Absolutely.
believe that. I believe that we were wonderfully and fearfully made. I believe that we have been gifted with talents and abilities that some of us say, I didn't go to school to learn, but I can do it naturally, right? And we have these talents and abilities and we limit ourselves
Absolutely. We
because
do.
we're not in tune. We don't seek out experts and professionals sometimes to pull it out of us, right? Or to encourage us that we can. And we rely on people that have never walked our journey. And I think that's where we have a misstep.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. And I also, just to piggyback on that as well, is that one of the things that one of the things that actually happens is that when we know and feel drawn to something in our lives, like what you said, that it's like spirit will configure this for us. We have to say yes. We have to be able to, align with and choose what feels right for us in our mind, in our body, in our soul, all of that in our spirit. And then when we do that, it configures, it will happen. But if we're not in that place and we're living based on our fear, on what people expect of us, of what the culture expects of us, then we're making choices where actually eventually we're so unhappy and miserable. It can be so difficult sometimes for people to move out of that because they've built so much of this false, really life around them that it just becomes people get stuck and they feel depressed. And I think that's what's going on a little bit right now, is that people are feeling a little bit of depression or more depression. I mean, sure, circumstances in life in general and the collective, but also just because this, again, this whole thing that's happening for us right now is really helping us to look at what really matters. What is true? What is true?
It's teaching us how to pivot. And a
Absolutely.
lot of us who don't like change, who don't embrace change well, this is our time to remember when I was growing up, we had stop, drop, and roll. That's when you smell fire. But this is our time to stop, drop, and pivot. We have to stop. Okay, so this pandemic stopped us. It stopped us dead in our tracks,
Mhm.
right? And Folsom, California, you guys are still closed. Texas has been open. We've been open. So a lot of us have not been able to, especially like me, I'm a people person. I love being around people. So the pandemic stopped us, stopped how things were happening, how things were transacting and transitioning. It stopped a whole bunch of things, right? And so now we have to be more careful, more mindful. We have to wear masks. We have to do all these things. We have to, not a want. We have to now. And so it causes change. And so even in business, when a lot of our business owners said, okay, what am I supposed to do? My business is ruined. It's over. It's over for me. And I said, don't ever say that. It's not over till God says it's over. It's not over. You have to look at what you're doing. How do you pivot? How do you add to what you have or take away from what you don't need? And so we had to learn to pivot. And so in life, if listen, I'm a child of the 60s. So when technology came, especially with these smartphones that I can't seem to grasp all the time, it was a pivot. It was a pivot for us. Even when computers started, I'm really aging myself. We had to learn it. We had to pivot, right? Because computers, we don't live without them now. We can't. So just like with this pandemic, yes, we have to pivot. We have to wash our hands. We got to wear a mask. We have to, stay healthy and stay strong. We have to keep our mind alert. We have to keep our, now that a lot of us are in the home, in the house, we can't go out. What is going into our eye gate and our ear gate? What are we feeding on? Right? Who's speaking to our spirit? Right?
Right.
So I know you're gonna talk more about that, but we have to watch what we're listening to.
Absolutely.
And are we in agreement with that?
Right, exactly. What are we feeding our spirit? What are we feeding our soul? It's not just food, but it's also information, it's energy, it's all of that. And just to bring it back to that entrepreneur, you brought that word up earlier as entrepreneurs, I am, you are, and other people must say, well, I'm not an entrepreneur. But I think that I'm gonna kind of break that open for people, or bring a new paradigm to that, is because if we look at the word entrepreneur, it is what that really is. We all have an inner entrepreneur because that's our creative spirit. Okay. And just because I don't work for anybody other than myself, right? And that makes me, in the literal sense, of an entrepreneur, but you can work for someone and still have a creative spirit. If anything, that's what's important, because that's how we become of service. That's how we use our gift. And everybody has a gift. And it's part of tapping into that energy of your inner entrepreneur, whether you're literally one or metaphorically one, but we all are. And you say pivot, it's redirect, right? How do you redirect and align? Because we all know that when we're trying to get something done, and the energy and the circumstances are stopping us, it's like, okay, wait a minute. How hard am I going to push? Because if I push too hard, this is probably not the direction I need to go. So like, we were stopped, we were masked, we were, all of these things said, halt, wait, shift, change, individually, collectively. That's what's happening. And so we can either be at the effect of that and be a victim to it, or we can be the victors of it. And that's what's powerful.
Right. And so it's almost like a mind over matter. What are you allowing to come into your spirit? I mean, when we first got the shelter in order, and this is a true story, I was like, oh my God, I can't go to work. And I don't work from home. I don't work well from home. I was at home for 1 week, Teresa. And I'm telling you, I was cooking everything. I was, because I don't even have a dedicated office at home. I have a little workspace because I don't work from home. My computer at home is to look up Grubhub or, I don't know. And so I was at home and I was looking in the kitchen like, oh, I should cook something, or I should eat something, I should do laundry. And I remember God said, what are you doing here? And I'm like, we're on shelter in, I'm at home. And God said, you have an office that you asked for, that you paid for. And so I allowed my team to work from home. I went into the office every day and I walked my office and I reminded God of his promises to me and what I'm doing, and show me where I can trim the fat, and show me open doors, make me the answer to somebody's problem. Because I believe that, wealth comes through my hands. I believe that God gave me my talents and abilities. And I'm going to tell you, our business tripled. When my employees did come back to work, we were on top of each other. I'm like, we're hiring people. I don't know where they're going to go. Can we share desks? We got 2 computers on one desk. It was crazy. But where was I? I didn't allow what was happening in the world affect me. I started to study more. I started to spend more time with God. I wanted to know, what was I on track? Was I not on track? Was there an area where I could change? Was there an area that I can add to? in my life, right? And what he called me to do. I got to talking. I was on so many Zoom calls, and I got to really hear what was happening with my colleagues, and the fears and the encouragement from others. And so I believe that we have to make sure that we are careful about what we listen to. We have to be careful about what we watch, right? And then we have to be careful of what comes out of our mouth, because a lot of times we speak death, not mean to.
Mhm. Right, right. Everything that we speak, we're either creating or destroying. And so I think that's a really powerful statement that one of my mentors shared with me. And every choice that we make, we're either disempowering or empowering ourselves. And so, even thoughts, it's not just our voice, but what we're thinking, because it's all energy, whether we're speaking it and we hear it, or we're thinking it and we're feeling it. And others feel that too. And I think that, what you said about, like we're speaking death. That's an intense statement, but in some ways, like we're speaking death of our spirit. We're speaking death of our of our light and how we're here to serve, and the gifts. Can we recognize, can we find the ways to express those gifts and be of service in the world? Because it is my belief that we've all come here with that, and that's what we've come here to do. And this redirection, this reset that we are in, if we choose to see it this way, is all part of that. I mean, look at the businesses, like the small businesses that have been created out of this during this time, of people that like they got creative. And it's like, it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's that whole entrepreneurial creative spirit that each of us have. It's like, check it out. I see so many businesses. I'm like, that is genius. That is
Mhm.
genius.
Yeah. So now, Teresa, I know you help people find their purpose.
Yeah.
So how do we, without giving away the whole baby,
Mhm.
how do we find our purpose? 'Cause a lot of us don't even know it. We're just living and breathing on the earth realm, and like I just don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing with the rest of my life. I hear that all the time.
Right. So here's one of the things that people, I think that is such a really good tip, is that purpose, that gift is something that is so natural and innate that a lot of people don't even recognize it. Okay. And see, people want to put it in a very external thing, in terms of, oh, I need to be working at, but we first got to look at the essence of what that gift is, right? The essence of what that purpose is, in terms of, what, like you say, I'm a people person. So what we know about you is that you need to connect. You're really good at connecting people. So that's going to be something in alignment with your purpose. So we got to begin with the essence of ourself, and know what that is. So then it configures so it can turn into something that is actually tangible. But many people want to go for the tangible first. Like, no, 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 what, you got to back up. You got to know thyself on some level to understand who you are, how you connect, what resonates, what makes your heart sing. Because it isn't something that is so out there that it's not anything, that it's something that doesn't feel in alignment. It's something that feels so easy. I heard an interview with a big wig at Pixar, who does the cartoons. And he said, this is what he said. He said, my father said something to me when I was young. He said, find what you love and you will never work a day in your life.
Wow.
And I thought that was so powerful, because when we love what we do, like what I do, I feel like I'm retired. I know that sounds crazy, but I do. I do. It's like I love what I do. It comes so easy and natural. And when I'm done, I'm fired up and I feel alive when I work with somebody.
And that's what it is when you're walking in your purpose.
Yeah.
So many people come and say, Cassandra, where's the $1 million contract? You got access to contracts. I'm like, if I told you it's going to be a job and you're already working a job that you hate. So you have to do things that you enjoy doing, right?
Absolutely.
That you would love to get up in the morning and do every day, right? And how do you find that? So I know that, oh my God, I'm looking at the time. Where'd it go? And I know that you have a book And I know you said if anybody reach out to you, they can get the 5 keys to finding your soul purpose guide.
Yes.
5 keys. Five
Yeah.
keys, Josh. You got 5. Cinco for you Spanish speakers. So just can you just give us one or two?
Yeah, so this is my book, Braving the Self. I also have it behind me. And so what I've done is I've taken 5 major points from this book. And one of the first, not to say one of the first, but one of the keys in there is, and people are not going to believe this, but it's vulnerability.
Mm.
It's vulnerability, and vulnerability is honesty. It's really getting honest with ourselves, getting honest with our life, and taking a look at that. Because we first have to be able to really be clear about what we're doing and what we're not doing to understand where we need to move next. So that's one of the keys in there. And it's also when we go into that place of vulnerability and open heartedness, so many things change for us in our life. So many things can have the opportunity to fall away. We are able to look at some of the ways in which really we can't see our own gift because of our hard shell that we've created, and how we can't see sometimes how things are actually in front of us that are part of the path that we didn't even realize.
Wow. So listen, you guys have to get her book, and you got to get the 5 keys to finding your soul purpose, because a lot of times we don't want to be just existing in this earth. I mean, how fun is that? I mean, I believe this earth and all the beautiful things in it, we're supposed to enjoy it. We're supposed to live a full life. We're supposed to be happy and healthy and whole. And a lot of times we're walking around sad and depressed and confused, and that's not a good place. It's just not a good place, because that opens the door to all kind of other negative things. So I think that when we're walking in our purpose, and like Teresa said earlier, she's happy. It's almost like she's in an early retirement. As you guys can see, she's way too young for any kind of retirement, but we're happy. I love what I do. I get up every day excited about coming to work, coming to my office, being able to meet people who are sharing their secrets that only God told them, right? In the entrepreneurial realm, right? And so I get to hear so many awesome businesses, and like Teresa said, how many things transpired even out of COVID, how businesses have boomed as a result of COVID. So COVID wasn't all bad. COVID wasn't all bad. Yes, the disease is bad. And I keep telling people, yeah, we're COVID conscious here. We're not COVID friendly. I'm not friends with a disease. We're conscious of it. We're taking preconscious, right? Conscious of it. But there are things that have transpired as a result of COVID that has been beneficial to everyone. So I just think that we need to really look at, I believe in work-life balance, and I believe that we sometimes we got to sit down and really listen to ourselves and have some conversations, not just with God, but with ourselves. Hey, am I being true to myself?
Mm-hmm.
Am I being true in my business? Am I being honest? Am I walking in integrity? Right? And if I'm not, God, please help me. Help me to be who you want me to be. And what can I do to be even happier? Right? What can I do to fulfill my purpose, where I can leave a legacy for my children and my children's children? So, man, so Teresa, how can we get your book?
Okay, so you can get my book on Amazon, as you know, good old Amazon. And you can reach out to me, either Facebook message me, or my website is teresacampos.com. You can find me there.
Now, do you do coaching to help
Oh,
people?
yeah, I do. That's my work. My work is working with people one-on-one. And yeah, I do consultations, complimentary consultations, if you want to have a conversation and, see if we have a connection and want to work together. So yeah.
So you guys need to reach out to Teresa at teresacampos.com, right?
Yep.
teresacampos.com.
Yep.
And you guys need to get her book. You guys need to know if you're walking in your purpose. Are you really walking in your soul purpose, what you were put on this earth to do? I mean, the world needs you. And a lot of times we have the answer and we're not sharing it. because we're not walking in our purpose. Man, we are out of time. This is just getting good. Teresa, we were just getting good. Things were
I
just beginning
know.
to rock and roll. Oh my goodness. So it is so good to see you again out there in sunny Southern California. I miss you guys. As you guys know, I lived in California for 26 years. I'll be back in California in August doing a conference. So hopefully I'll be able to see you then. But gosh, we are out of time. Man, you guys have been listening to the beautiful Teresa Campos helping us to understand our soul purpose and how we can walk in that and be happy, healthy, and whole. You guys, we have run out of time. You guys have been listening to Business First with me, Dr. Cassandra Bradford, and my special, beautiful guest, Teresa Campos.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
It's
all
been
for now, and I'll see you guys at the top.